Hi, welcome. My name is Kyle, and welcome to my channel where we take culture, TV, and movies, and we filter it right. I'm going to do a quick video on the USA's women's soccer team and the controversy that came out of yesterday's Thailand victory, 13-0, the celebrations and the American pride going across the board. I'm not going to talk about that specifically because I already covered that in a video. You can check that right here. I'll leave a link above on that, where I talk about the celebrations and the controversy there and all that stuff. I'm going to talk about something that I forgot to mention, but I'm sort of glad that I didn't cover it in that because this is kind of its own separate issue that I want to have its own kind of focus. And that is this. Should conservatives or people who love America really root for this USA team where we see so many negative comments and actions by the team against the country and things we don't believe in and we feel are unpatriotic? That's a question that I hear, and I've heard it on Facebook many times from people that I respect. And this isn't something that I can just blow off as saying this isn't a valid question. I think it's a very valid question, especially when you bring into the situation with the NFL and kneeling for the flag and that sort of thing. And I put my position on this as the fact that I am torn on it. But I do have a definitive position, and I'll explain that right now. And that is this, is that the long and short of it is I am not going to root for any other country other than the United States. And even though it may pain me for what the players may say, what they're going to do if they win, if they don't win, what they're going to do in terms of this, what their positions on policy are, and even the controversy that came out 4 years ago with the women's team not having any blue or red on their jersey. It was just black and white. And people were saying, that's not America's colors. Why are they doing that? And they've since changed that. But, that sort of thing kind of started the thought process of this. And people are just frowned on celebrating for this team. And I get that, especially if you look at the NBA and the NFL and so forth. People not wanting to go to the White House for whatever reason, try to make a political statement. Well, there's two statements on this. Number one, this is America. That's what we're free to do. People have died for that right, for that expression. So that's part of it. And I also get the side of it that says, we don't have to support it. That's true. But I like the sport of soccer. I enjoy watching them play. And ultimately, it comes down to this again. There is no country that I'm going to pull for other than the United States. And the players that are on this team don't represent, to me, themselves. They represent the team they play for, and that team they play for is us, the United States. And just like President Obama, when he went overseas or whenever, I was not a big fan of Obama as a president. However, he represents something bigger than just Obama. He represents a country. He represents the greatest nation to ever exist on this planet, the country that liberated thousands and millions of people around the world. We just celebrated the 75th anniversary of D-Day. And so I did a video on that as well. If you want to check that out, I'll leave that above it as well. And so that's where I'm coming from. So it also does a disservice to some of the players on the team that may be patriotic, who may not feel the same way as the ones that are vocal say. Maybe they would be willing to go to White House and support that. And not that that is something they have to do. I mean, if you don't like the president, or if you don't want to go to D.C., whatever, that's your preference. But it just seems that a lot of people are doing this as a political defiance against a movement to make America great. And again, that's political, I know, but the thought is that people are just frowned on that. And the question is really to conservatives: should we celebrate this? Personally, it's your own personal decision. Personally, I'm going to continue supporting it because unlike the NBA and the NFL, this is representing the United States of America. And again, for the third time, I'm not going to support another country other than this country. Period. I don't care who it is. And so, but at the same time, this is where I'm torn. That's when we get back to that. I'm torn because if they were to lose, I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep over it either. Because the human side of me is going to be like, well, you guys, maybe you should have been more patriotic. I mean, I'm just being real. I'm just keeping it real. In 1999, when U.S. won the World Cup, that was in the Rose Bowl. That was with Chastain took off her jersey and penalty kicks. That was Mia Hamm. That was Brianna Scurry with that fantastic save. And I forget the person that had the near post save, the header that prevented it from us from losing. This was against China in the World Cup final in the United States, in LA, in the Rose Bowl, over 100,000 people. It's a huge event. Had we lost that game, I'd have been upset. I'd probably been crying myself to sleep because that was before 9/11. The world was different then. The world was a totally different place, less cynical, patriotic, and so forth. Now, with everything going on now, with the negativity and all that stuff going on, and the comments that have been made by some players, granted, they may have been the minority on the team. We don't know. Sometimes the silent majority just doesn't say anything. But I don't see myself as being that terribly upset. So that's why I'm torn. But at the same time, I'm going to be pulling for him. Absolutely. Yes, I am. Because I like the sport. I played and so forth. And I just, I dig it. And so I'm putting this out there so people, do what you want, whatever. But that is, to me, the difference between the two. And I've since come off the NFL boycott. And that wasn't really a boycott physically. For me, that was my enjoyment of the game of football was not there because I just didn't like it because it just gave me a sour taste in my mouth. And besides, if you want to keep it real, my team was doing really well anyway. So it was an excuse for me really to just do something else with my time. But for now, I think the NFL is back on board. I'm still looking forward to XFL. I'm getting off topic here. But at the same time, I hope you know where I'm coming from. So with that, this is my content. And again, check out my videos before. Check out my videos again I have out here. And you'll see my sentiments on this and other subjects. And so if you like the content on this channel where I take culture, TV, movies, and I filter it right, please hit that like and subscribe button and that bell icon so you don't miss any future content. And like I said before, please check out some content that I have right above.